A new report that came out over the weekend alleges that not only did the Clinton campaign spy on the Trump campaign, but this spying continued even after he became president. If true, this is not only hugely problematic and a huge conflict of interest, but it's also probably treason. This article is coming from the New York Post. The gist of this report and allegation is that the Hilary Clinton campaign paid an internet company to infiltrate servers, not only at Trump Tower to see what type of stuff he was searching for, but also at the White House, with the end goal to link Donald Trump to Russia. Now, this I don't think should come as much of a surprise because we heard for years how Trump was a Russian asset, he was paid for by the Kremlin, he was literally a Russian spy. We heard all of the nonsense and lies regarding Trump and Russia. And they apparently did anything they possibly could to try and get information to prove that Trump was tied to Russia, even though it didn't exist. So this is coming from the special counsel John Durham, who was tasked with investigating the origins of this Russian collusion narrative, which I think is warranted considering we found out that plenty of the allegations, again, like the Steele dossier, were not validated or true in any sense. So investigating where this all came from, it only seems reasonable to me. And that's what he's doing. And he is charging the Clinton campaign lawyer, Michael Sussmann, with lying to the FBI. Because Sussmann apparently told the FBI about the Trump-Russia collusion idea and said that he was not working on behalf of anybody when he presented the agency with documents that supposedly linked the Trump organization with a Kremlin-tied bank. And he just happened to do this 2 months before the election. So, in case you didn't quite catch that, we have the lawyer for the Clinton campaign going to the FBI telling them that I have this proof, which he didn't have, tying Trump to the Russians, and you should investigate this. The FBI said, okay, who are you coming on behalf of? Who's your client? And he said, nobody. But it turns out Clinton, or the Clinton campaign, more accurately, was his client. That's an issue here. You can't have one campaign actively beginning an investigation into another. So if we continue down, this lawyer, Michael Sussmann, has pleaded not guilty. Durham, again, the one investigating the origins of this entire Trump-Russia collusion narrative, his motion repeatedly alleged that Sussmann had assembled and conveyed the allegations to the FBI on behalf of at least 2 specific clients, including a technology executive at a US-based internet company and the Clinton campaign. And that the records show that Sussmann repeatedly billed the Clinton campaign for his work on the Russian bank allegations. So the entire thing here is that he had proof, supposedly, that Trump had ties to a Russian bank. And here there are records, apparently, showing that he billed the Clinton campaign when working on these Russian bank allegations. So this is showing that the Clinton campaign directly paid for a lawyer to investigate this stuff, who then took that supposed information to the FBI and lied about who was paying him to do this. This is called spying. But the allegations get even worse, because this tech executive, what they did supposedly is they infiltrated Trump Tower and also the White House to obtain their IP address information. So they were effectively looking at the types of things that were being searched for in the White House and at Trump Tower. And they used this information to try and say that Trump and or his associates were using supposedly rare Russian-made wireless phones in the vicinity of the White House and other locations. Now, that I don't think there's any truth to that because it doesn't seem like anything ever came from it. But what is, if it is true, is certainly problematic, is spying on a president and trying to get his internet history and find out what exactly he is searching for. First and foremost, it is probably treason. But even putting that aside, I don't really want to be the guy who looks at Trump's internet search history because I don't want to know what's there. I mean, I supported Trump for most of his presidency and I voted for him, but that doesn't mean I want to know the type of stuff that he searches on the internet. I don't think my brain could handle that. So I feel bad for whoever had to comb through this information, but again, it doesn't really seem like anything came of it because there were no real concrete examples of Russian collusion, because it wasn't a thing. But this allegation seems much more concrete than the Russian collusion narrative ever was. Now, in typical Trump style, he did say that this type of stuff was treason, spying on him. And then he added that Sussmann's alleged crimes would have at one point been punishable by death, which is true if it were found to be treason, but it's still not a great thing to say because a lot of outlets are running with Trump saying that this should be punishable by death, and then they're kind of ignoring the real issue, which is the spying on a president. Now, I don't think it says so in this article, but in a different one I read, this lawyer Sussmann is set to go on trial in spring of this year, I believe it is, so we'll see more evidence come forward then. And I certainly hope, if he is found guilty, that the investigation would then expand to the entire Clinton campaign. Because I severely doubt that the lawyer is the only one involved in this. If he is found guilty and he actually investigated and spied on Trump and then lied about it to the FBI, then the entire Clinton campaign is now suspect, including Hilary Clinton herself. So now I guess all we can do is wait until spring, where Sussmann will go to trial and we'll see whether or not these allegations are founded or if they are completely made up, like the Steele dossier. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you like this content, and I'll see you next time.